Welcome to a brand new Five Heart Podcast live and in living color on a Thursday night, 9 o'clock Central, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and X. I'm your host, Greg Mahochko, one of your hosts, because I'm joined, as always, by my great friend and fellow Husker fan, Minnie Hunt. Minnie, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm tremendous.
You are? Really?
Yep.
Tremendous? I noticed that you still don't have a light on.
Shit!
Oh my gosh.
We got all the kinks worked out. And the light is on.
I don't think you turned it on.
Huh?
I don't think it's on.
God dang it. I pushed the button. We talked about this. The batteries are weak.
Okay.
It's shown brighter this afternoon when we had our rehearsal. So
yes.
But I digress. How have you been? How's your day? How's your week? What the hell's going on?
It's been an exciting week. Fun week.
You've been all over the place.
I know.
Why don't you tell the good people about all the other shows you've been visiting this week?
Really? The only ones that matter is this one, Greg.
Then why are you moonlighting on other shows, Minnie?
Well, they asked me. I didn't want to be rude.
Fair. We're Nebraska nice to a fault, right?
Exactly.
So tell the people where you've been.
Okay. So I was on Locked On MSU Spartans yesterday. And that guy actually runs a pretty cool channel. You know, the Locked On series, like all the people that do Locked On, they have to do a 30-minute segment every day. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, they do. It's required. So if you have a Locked On channel, like Nebraska has a Locked On channel, you have to do a 30-minute segment every day, minimum.
Oh, cool.
I know. It keeps, you have to stay up on what's going on. And of course, Michigan State, we don't actually know what's been going on with them because we didn't play them last year, right?
Right. I think the last time we played them is when we punted to the wrong side of the field.
Why'd you have to bring that up, Greg?
You know, it's like the damn onside kick. We're not good at special teams. Special teams have cost us games. And I can't live the lie that that's not our reality anymore.
Well, it isn't our reality anymore because I'm telling you, he wanted to know all about Nebraska. And I gave him service level stuff. I didn't give away all of our secrets. But
secrets. I'm intrigued.
But it's really funny because he kept saying, I feel like I'm staring at a mirror with our teams. Of course, yours is better, but it seems like we've had the same kind of problems throughout the years. Yeah, I know. Sad. Yeah. And at the end, we both were like, we're just kind of going to root for each other unless we're playing for each other.
So early special teams talk. I didn't think we were going to talk special teams tonight, but that's what I get for asking where Minnie's been. If you're asking what's Greg drinking tonight, it's what shows Minnie been on? What shows Minnie been on? Whoa. Anyway, Roger says long snappers have improved at least. We do have the top long snapper in the portal. And by the way, that is like, 1 out of 1 because I don't think many long snappers are jumping in the portal. So we've got the best long snapper out of the portal. Good Lord. Fred says the punt to the wrong side of the field versus Michigan State. One of the few times our team left me speechless. Fred hasn't been speechless since. He, and we know this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And thank you for being here. Pitt says, special teams, you just gotta wanna.
You just gotta wanna. But you also have to be coached. Right? We all agree that...
I just gotta have some better English and grammar from the Holger Maniacs. Like,
No, we don't. We don't.
Gotta wanna that is. I'm developing a tick.
That's perfectly acceptable, Greg.
Gotta want to pay. You're killing me. All right. What about what do we got? We gotta wanna. And James says, "I won't believe in special teams until I see it in the game." That's right.
You know, James, I have to tell you, I was talking about you yesterday.
Oh shit.
Not just you, James, but all of you OG doubters that are raining on the parade here.
OG doubters. You know, the people who've been around and seen a thing or two know a thing or two. Oh, God. I can't read Fred's comment. It's going to give me a migraine.
I typed the way I type. So good. That one? Or Greg Pitt's fine. He ain't got to do no gooder. That one? Is that the one?
You know what?
I don't know.
That right there has me getting out my old drink case.
It looks like a purse.
Huh?
It looks like a purse.
It's not. It's a cooler.
It's your beer purse.
That's what it is. But I got a ice thing in here, like an ice block. My beer stay colder in the show because Husker Bob wants to know.
All right.
What does he want to know? We all know what he wants to know.
I know.
What's Greg drinking today? What's Greg drinking today? Whoa. Sorry. Which, by the way, Fred says,
whoa,
Red Bull from the look of it.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Well, I saw you were eating something when I came onto the screen. What were you eating?
I'm embarrassed to say.
What?
It was a chocolate bunny from Easter.
Great.
I've been sitting there for a month and a half up above the fridge. My boys can't reach it. They forgot about it.
I said hi, and he's like, hey. And he's like, I'm like, can you hear me? He's like, yes. I'm like, are you okay? Yes. He wouldn't look me directly in the eye. Now I know why.
It was a little hollow chocolate bunny. See, I mean, it's not even that big, really. It's, it was hollow. All right, so I have 3 beverage choices tonight. I have from Avery Brewing Company, White Rascal, which is a Belgian-style white ale. There, now you can see it. This is 5.6% alcohol by volume. From our friends across the pond, the fine brewers of Guinness, and I get it. It's not Guinness, but I have the Harp Lager. This is 14.9 fluid ounces and 4.5% alcohol by volume. Ooh. And from the county in which I graduated high school, I have Lefty's Lager.
Okay, I love that.
And this is a pint.
Good name.
5% alcohol by volume. This is our Munich style Helles Lager. Is a you know what? That's just what I'm going to drink. It's too difficult to read. So we're going to go with the Lefty's Lager. We're going to get this night started off right.
Danny Williams says beer and chocolate. Breakfast of champions.
Thank you, Dana. Dana, I'm a gentleman of a certain age. I remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds from the 1980s and how one morning the nerds were in their frat house and they were pouring beer into their Cheerios instead of milk. Beer into their Cheerios. So
interesting.
That might be breakfast this weekend. I don't know.
Ooh. Hey, you know what I just saw, Greg? I wanted to send this to you. Bussing with the Boys is right near you, and plus you're blurry. They're doing a thing called the Summer... Tomorrow? It's a summer squash or something. Bussing with the Boys. Do you know what they're doing?
No, they haven't ran their plans past me.
Well, you should go.
Well, I'm going to have to Greggle that. I don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Charles Hillette on X says Beerios.
Hey, is that Husker Chuck?
No, Charles
okay.
Hillette.
Houlette or Hullett?
I don't know. Hillette? I didn't ask. Charles, help us out. Pitt asks if I buy my beer buy one from a tote in the aisle of Walmart. No, I go to Total Wine, sir, and I build my own 6-pack of beers that I've never tried before. And it's really fun because sometimes I take my boys in with me. I say, hey, don't touch anything. There's a lot of glass bottles around, and I don't want to pay for what you've broken.
Well, last week you had some beer that was like, what was it? Something that was very...
Hullet rhymes with mullet. Thank you, Charles.
Erotic sounding. Do you remember? Like, were you touching yourself whenever you picked out that beer, Greg?
Nope.
Sorry.
Because again, I was in there with my children. This show's already off to a wild start.
I forget
This
what
is the first time I've ever tried XL Brewing. By the way, XL Bottling makes some of the best pure cane sugar sodas you'll ever find. So if you ever see an XL Bottling glass bottle soda or pop in your local market, pick some up. They're amazing.
I don't think I've ever had like real sugar in my soda.
It's instead of high fructose corn syrup. It's better for you.
Yeah. Or even that. I think I've only had diet sodas.
I got, may he rest in peace, Brian Toll to switch from Mountain Dew to ski years back. So
yeah,
I'm not taking, it's not what killed him. Just saying. So, all right. Yes. No, I'm going to agree with the first half of Fred's comment. Mexican Coca-Cola is fantastic. I actually have a 4-pack up in my garage. I got to get it to a client's house the next week. So finally saw it on the shelves again. I don't know about that last part, Fred. So, all right. Minnie, what do we got to talk about tonight?
Oh, great. I think we ought to start off with the biggest news of the week. Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh!
Yes. And since I don't know a whole lot about 2009 seasons and such, I have to rely on a lot of you guys to tell me about it, right?
Right.
And last night, we put together a little watch along.
True. That's a thing that happened. And it's going to be dropping exclusively for you YouTube members tomorrow. So make sure that you re-up your membership if you haven't. You know, speaking of membership, Minnie.
Yes.
I checked in on Monday Night Show.
Yeah.
And I saw that we have 2 new members in the YouTube. So you know what that means?
Confetti.
We get confetti, and we get to play the new member jingle. And I think Raji is here, so we'll this one's for you, Raji.
We just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to bluechew.com.
We have to take care of our members. There's nothing wrong with what I said. Jeez.
Who says anything?
It's because you threw Blue Chew in there.
What are you talking about? Who said there's anything wrong with what you said?
Greg said Fred said you owe a couple people your weird erotic deal.
We got Raji, and then a little later, if he shows up or if he doesn't, we'll play for the other Dave because he also became a member on Monday night as well. So Pitt says, what's a watch along if we don't get to watch along? great question, because we actually include the link to the video that we watch in the description. So you can, if you have multiple devices, you can watch along. So that's the plan. The irony is not lost on me, Fred.
Okay.
And that's the fun. It's all in good fun.
So anyways.
It's all in good fun.
The National Football Foundation runs the College Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, right? And they just came out with the ballots. Who's on the ballot? And lo and behold, it's Ndamukong Suh.
Who else is on the ballot?
I don't know.
Cool.
Does it matter?
I mean, you know. A little bit.
Okay. I mean, I think it's more important that we focus on the person who played at Nebraska.
Okay. We don't want to mention any of his peers, I suppose.
You know what was brought up to me today? One of the criteria is that you have to be first team All-American, right? First team All-American.
Okay.
Think about that. If you are a player, there's only so many players that get to be first team All-American. So that eliminates so many.
I think it's 0.02% of all college football players.
Yeah, but what if they're really great? Like, how do you, from year to year, that it just seems like some of the criteria is not the best.
It's, I would say the best of the best
of that year. But for the following year, is that going to equal? You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, that's not, I don't, that's not my interpretation. So there are different criteria, because we know that you have to have had to have retired from playing for at least 5 years. So it's not like, like they could be from different years. So the entire ballot, now look, there's a lot of names on this ballot, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to list them all.
Okay.
But, I mean, because some of them go back to 1991, 1981, so it's not just the aughts, like our own honoree Ndamukong Suh. So, when we look at the list, there's Des Bryant, who was a first-team All-American in 2008 from Oklahoma State. Mark Carrier, who played defensive back for USC in the 80s. Kijana Carter, the running back from Penn State in the 90s. Dallas Clark, the tight end. I hate to say it, the Iowa tight end, but of course he had a tremendous career with the Indianapolis Colts. We have Aaron Donald, who again had a tremendous NFL career. He was a 2013 unanimous first team All-American. Then we have Alan Faneca, 1997 LSU offensive guard. We have RG3, Robert Griffin III, Casey Hampton, Marvin Harrison. They're spanning decades and generations. Josh Heupel, who oddly enough is now a head coach. Mark Ingram, who stole a Heisman from our very own Ndamukong Suh. And then, we get to finally somewhere all the way down at the end of the list, it seems, is Ndamukong Suh. So it's like 70 some odd players.
79, I think, was it? Yeah. 79. Mm-hmm.
And that's not including coaches. So, no, I will agree with Dana Williams here, who says getting Suh in Lincoln was Callahan's greatest accomplishment. Suh's career was from 2005 to 2009, and obviously, we know about that tremendous run he had in 2009, dominant. He was a quarterback killer. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on the internet, but he single-handedly changed games.
You use quarterback in front of it, so I think it's okay.
Cool.
I wonder, does anyone know what the history is? How did Callahan actually get him here? What was that like because he came from Oregon, right?
Correct.
And what was that like back then to get a player from Oregon? How much he must have been highly sought after because he said he was 6'4", 275 as a freshman. So he was already
as a senior in high school.
As a senior? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in high school.
He was only, I don't mean this dismissively, he was only a 4-star recruit. Like, he developed and grew into the machine that he became. He was the 6th ranked tackle or defensive tackle in the country. He took official visits to Mississippi State, Oregon State, Miami, and California. Mississippi State wasn't that great at the time. Oregon State has never been great. Cal's been down for decades. So you have really between Nebraska and Miami. And again, for whatever reason, he selected the Huskers. So I don't know. I don't know the size of the bag that it took to get him here. I don't know if that was a thing, but
it would have been a brown paper bag, like a McDonald's bag or something.
Right.
That's how he used to do it. He was like a one-man team. From what we saw yesterday, oh my gosh.
No, it was great watching. His top production was in his junior and senior years. And I've got the stats here. In his career, he had 215 combined tackles, 125 of them being solo tackles. He had 49.5 tackles for loss, 24 sacks, 12 of them in his senior year. So half of his sack production came in his last year. He had 15 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, both of them coming in the 08 season, 3 forced fumbles, 41 quarterback hurries, and 6 blocks. So, just a powerful – I don't want to say this hindered him necessarily, but he played in college like D1 college level kids play in high school. Like, he just looked like a man among boys, throughout his career. When he got to the NFL, I'm not saying he had a bad NFL career. He was more of a journeyman, I think, having time with Detroit, where he was the 2nd overall pick, and Tampa Bay, the Rams, and another team that's escaping me. But, you're going up against the best of the best. Not everybody you face on Saturday is going to be playing in the NFL. Everybody in the NFL is there for a reason. So, oftentimes they're more mature, more disciplined, like that. Oddly enough, I was surprised by the number of flags that Suh drew in the NFL for, or times he was caught after the play with some unsportsmanlike conduct, we'll say.
He was definitely a leader. From what I saw, and somebody in the chat, I started the comment, they talked about the Cody Hawkins throwdown that you were like, Minnie, you have to see this. That was
when he trucked the Colorado quarterback.
Yes.
On the interception, the touchdown, yeah. Yeah, here it is. James Boardman. And it's definitely in the in the highlights that we sat and watched. I want to say he stiff-armed Cody. Cody, I think, wisely was ducking out of the way first, and then he just got steamrolled. Like, he might have got ran over. I don't know. It was great. That was that 08 Colorado game.
That was, yeah. So we didn't actually get to watch a whole game. We just watched highlights, which was like 30 minutes worth of highlights, but they were so good. And honestly, you guys, I'm ashamed to admit it, I don't know if I've ever even seen a whole game with him playing. So
Pitt says Warren Buffett made his only recruit call to Suh. Hey, if you're
Is
going to
that
call
true?
him the big
Is that true?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't, because I'll be honest with you, the reason why is I don't think Warren Buffett cares.
Dang.
Like he's got enough money that he could build a new stadium/dome for the University of Nebraska if he wanted to. But that's not.
And he doesn't even, I mean, he lives like an hour away. If anyone can get him to contribute, it would be Matt Rule.
I don't see it happening. He's doing just fine.
Yeah, but you got to invest in these young kids.
Yeah. I think his business ventures lie elsewhere, and they've been doing pretty well for him. That's right, James. Suh had 2 Super Bowl rings. Sadly, he wasn't going to have him with Detroit.
Yeah.
And Fred says that if Suh played in the NFL 10 years earlier, he wouldn't have been flagged for shit. You're right. It's a different time.
Yeah. Well, we were watching the highlights, and it looked like there were all kinds of things that you can't do today in college football that you could do back then in 2009.
Yeah, Roger's absolutely correct. We use the phrase ragdoll when talking about that Big 12 championship game in 2009, and that's exactly what it was. That game ruined Colt McCoy's Heisman chances. And here we go. I don't think we've ever done this on the show, largely because for most of the time, I would have sleeping children upstairs. But Bahusafu says, "Can I get a Go Big Red from a host here?" I gotcha. I'm going to back up a little bit so I don't make everybody go deaf. Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
There we go. Now it feels like game day.
Yeah, it does. That felt really good. I miss doing that. Do it again. Do it again.
I got to move my chair again.
One more time. Jeez, it feels so good.
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
All right. There you go, Bahusafu. All right. Raji says 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, 2010 Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2010's All-Decade Team, Outland Trophy. Yeah. Again, he had I'm not saying he had a bad career, just,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know if, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because he ended up on the Lions and was good. I mean, he I feel like his pro career is still, in my opinion, dwarfed by his college career.
Because he was the man.
Right.
The man. I was reading an article about him that said something like, oh gosh, now I'm going to forget it. Forget it. Never mind. I don't want to ruin it. It was such a good article, though. Dang it. I wish I would have written it down. It had something to do with you need to take a player who's great at the greatest time that they're great. It was something like that. I don't know. It made sense when I was reading it. Never mind.
Fred says other teams doubled the shit out of him. He couldn't tear through that as easily at that level as he did in college. Yeah.
But that's why. Yeah.
But again, that's because at that point they're all meant to be there. So interesting. I kind of feel like this is a placeholder. I might have Minnie make a note. Husker player Mount Rushmore. We can talk about that next week.
What? I love that idea. Okay.
Because now I want everybody. This is your homework assignment, and you can all thank Living in Omaha David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast. He's cost the whole class is getting homework now because of him. Your Mount Rushmore of Husker players?
Players? Can we sneak in a couple coaches?
No.
Okay. Only
Sue would be
players.
on the Husker player Mount Rushmore.
Because there wouldn't be enough faces.
Lord
otherwise. Yes? Is that why we think that?
Oh, and we're already ruling it out. No 4 Dylans.
Why not?
Because James says that Sue would be the mountain. So that's everybody's homework.
Okay. I actually like that. That's good homework. I don't
Aaron
mind
says
it.
all of Minnie will all yours be from last season.
Ha ha ha. King.
I promise you, if you put Dylan on there head of Heinrich Harburg, I'm quitting the show. I'm quitting the show.
You can't quit. It's your show.
Interesting. Stephen Fromm says that Sue isn't top 4. Wow. Okay. This is where the fun is going to be. So again, everybody have theirs. We're not going to have a 10-headed Rushmore. That's not what this is. 4. All right. 4.
That's it. That's all he's going to let us have.
And is there a giant statue of Tom right behind the mountain? There'd be a giant statue of Tom in front of the mountain. I know you're like, but Greg, it'll block the mountain. Dr. Tom's always out front. He leads from the front. So,
no, he's there where, you gather to get the information.
The huddle?
No.
The visitor center.
Yes.
The visitor center. All right.
That's where he is. Because obviously he's in charge of the whole situation.
Aaron Keene said, Thunder Collins had better not be on there, so help me God.
It's Thunder Collins. What?
I can't believe you just asked that question.
Well, I don't know.
Really? You don't know about Thunder Collins?
Is that a real person?
It's a real person.
Okay.
We don't talk about Thunder Collins. Like, you know how some people don't talk about Bruno? We don't talk about Thunder Collins.
I don't think 90% of the people watching this show is going to understand what that meant. That we don't talk about Bruno. Only if you have young children.
I think enough people get it. Tony's, again, I like where Tony's head is at. Again, as a Minnesota fan, Jarvis Redwine, one of his favorite Huskers, not saying Mount Rushmore worthy. And again, this is your personal Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
So.
Your personal. Like if you, I assume we all have Husker altars in our home. So who's on your Husker altar?
No, Mount Rushmore. We're not gonna make this blasphemous, Minnie. Vince says that Tom is the Crazy Horse Monument, except it'd be done by now. Let's be honest. If Dr. Tom was gonna be chiseled into the granite of South Dakota, by God, it'd be done by now. Anyway, that's getting a side topic. So everybody's got their homework assignment. Your Husker football players, Mount Rushmore, have that ready by next week, 9 o'clock Central, right here on Coronation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And Minnie, I can't think of a better way to end the show. All right, let's just call it now.
We have been working feverishly. We put in more hours this week than we ever have. All for 5 minutes of fun.
Hey, you know what?
We worked our butts off for 5 minutes.
There are a lot of people. There'd be a lot of people who put in more effort for less time. I'm just saying.
It's true.
Fred wants to know, by the way, is this of all time or the last few decades? I'm thinking all time. So.
Wow. Okay.
Fred's waiting for a Husker. I don't know what Husker theater is. We guys get. We don't do Husker theater here, Fred. Get it right, okay?
Why do you have a problem with Husker Theater? I'd be honored to be called Husker Theater and not the Five Heart Theater.
Well, I guess this will be the last time we do Five Heart Theater then.
Never mind.
Pitt says 4 is bullshit. We get more. We're special. No, you're not. No. 4. Don't break the dynamic of the Mount Rushmore theme. Yeah, damn right, Kaylee. Minnie, show a little pride in the show.
In the show. Okay. Sorry.
5 Heart is bigger than the Huskers.
Yes.
So,
is that
Wade, by the way, says that his homework's going to be late because he always copied homework from somebody else. Wade, honest to God, this should be the easiest homework assignment you've ever been assigned in your life. And living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart podcast. Yes, stick around to the end of the show.
Yes, we worked on something really wonderful. Can't wait.
I mean, if it works, it's gonna knock your socks off. And if it doesn't work, we're all gonna have a bigger laugh.
It might be really lame.
At the end of the day, you should be entertained. Like, that's my hope.
Yes. I thought it was good the way I did it originally, but Greg had to have his input. So what? Roger Moore says HH running the option would take too much space on the mountain.
I think I enhanced the bit.
You actually did. You did.
Wade's confused. Like, Greg said the show was done.
It's fun when you actually get into it. I do. I mean, it took a lot of coercing. A lot. He's like, Minnie, let's like do a 2-minute show. 2-minute theater. I'm like, no. He goes, can we keep it under 4? He has his timer, making sure that this does not go too long. I'm like, it could be the whole show for all I care.
Nope. All right. So we've talked about Ndamukong Suh. Let's move on, Minnie.
Okay. We have this. Ready?
I'm ready. Hold on. I'm not ready yet.
So ESPN.
There, I'm ready now.
Came out with their FPI, which stands for football, whatever. I don't even know. What does it stand for?
I don't know.
Anyways, this is typical June.
Football Power Index.
Thank you.
It is the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season.
Okay. Is it really?
No. They didn't ever get it right.
I wonder what the percentage is on getting it right. But I do love that they snuck a little Nebraska in there.
I don't know if I do.
Why? Why?
I prefer to, I don't know, I sneak in unrecognized, unexpected, like it's cool. But at the same time, if we weren't on the list, I'd be okay too. I'll tell you what, that entire top row can just fuck off.
I mean, do we really feel that way about Alabama?
I hate Alabama.
But here's the thing. Jackson.
I saw him in the chat. I don't know if he's still around. Jackson seems like a cool guy. I know he's done guest shots on Monday Night Therapy. And I appreciate his takes. But he's an individual. The Alabama fan base as a whole.
Do you have a problem with them?
I do.
Why?
Same reason I hate Ohio State.
Because they're. Do you think they're full of themselves?
No.
That's what people think about Nebraska
Yeah, I
fans.
know, but I'm a Nebraska fan, so I probably agree about that too.
Like they actually, you guys have no idea how much hate I have to face out there whenever I'm networking with these other shows. They don't like the Nebraska fans.
Aaron Keene says, to be fair, the Alabama fan base is all related. You're right. Their family tree is like a broomstick. Oh, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of like unexpectedness on this list, the top 25.
If I'm being honest, I would say that one of the bigger surprises would be Nebraska.
Hmm.
I would say that the bottom row, if they found 5 other teams, I'd be like, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, they could drop. I mean, we're on the bottom row though.
Yeah, I know. But again, it's just so weird to see SMU back in college football relevancy and to do it before Nebraska's back. That's unnerving because have you seen the 30 on 30 about SMU?
No, I haven't.
And the death penalty that they had in the 1980s?
Tell me.
It's worth a watch. It should be on your Disney Plus app. It is. It's worth the watch. It's everybody. We dislike Texas, but like there's a whole conference that Texas helped explode, and part of it, part of that was also SMU's doing. When they became ineligible, that Southwest Conference really started to take a hit. I don't remember all the details. It's been a while since I watched that special, but it's a really good special. And it's on, like I said, it's on Disney Plus under there, the ESPN banner. Just search for SMU.
Greg, if I'm looking at this again right now, almost like with fresh eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6. I see 6 Big Ten teams.
Mm-hmm.
So how many SEC teams do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess
I see 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So we have Texas. We have the top 3: Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, South Carolina. I'm pretty sure is SEC. Then you have Oklahoma, Florida, Missouri. So 12. Arkansas, 13. 13 SEC teams in the top 25.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Tony says it's ludicrous, and I don't know if you've ever gone to Ludacris, not the concert, but like from Spaceballs. There's hyperspeed and then there's ludicrous speed. I'll see myself out.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen Spaceballs? You've never seen Spaceballs?
No.
Folks, what are we doing? We're going to have another watch along. First Young Guns and then Spaceballs. We'll do a double.
Does it have anything to do with football? And don't pretend like Napoleon had something to do with football, because it didn't.
Napoleon? What? Napoleon?
You had me watch Napoleon like a year and a half ago, and you're like, Minnie, just wait and see. It has something to do with football. And I'm like, Greg, I watched it all the way through. It's the worst movie ever, and I still don't get it. And then you said, well, it has to do with, and I forget what your point was. It wasn't actually a really good point either. In your mind, it had to do with football.
I don't remember that, but I remember that everybody should watch Spaceballs at least once in their life. So I'm not going to say that, Fred. But I'm going to leave it here for people to read.
I mean, okay.
Aaron says he can't call the cops on you a second time.
Really, Keen?
Yeah. Vince says preseason rankings. I'm going to say this like I think Vince sounds.
Okay.
And
you know he lives in Wyoming.
Okay. Preseason rankings don't. Oh, he lives in Wyoming. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to read it normal. Preseason rankings don't mean shit. They just put all the SEC teams on it so they can say their strength of schedule is better, yet they only play 8 conference games. So I don't disagree with Brian. I mean, we're talking about because we're excited that Nebraska's like in the top 25, or at least recognizing that they're in the top 25.
Is that the Brian Moore from The Voice of College Football, Nebraska?
I don't know.
I think it is.
You'll have to ask him. Brian Moore, are you the Brian Moore of The Voice of College Football, Nebraska? Answer in the comments now.
I mean, I think it is. Okay. Rage bait rankings. Yes, that's me.
Hey, all right.
Oh.
Hi, Brian Moore from The Voice of College Football, Nebraska.
Okay, well, it is rage bait rankings. It is something for us to talk about.
But in their defense, you didn't even realize that 13 SEC teams were in there until just a few minutes ago.
Yes, this is true. I didn't. I looked, honestly, here's what I looked at when I saw this. I was like, oh, top 25. And then I saw ESPN. ESPN has they're somewhat credible. Then I saw the first line. I'm like, well, yeah, that's a given. Then I saw Nebraska on there. I was like, oh, they noticed us.
We feel seen.
Mm-hmm. That's all.
Vince says, Greg, I grew up 30 miles from Shattern. You can probably imagine what I sound like. I just got to know, Vince, do you tuck your jeans into your boots, or do you have them on the outside of your boots? That's the only question.
I was wondering, tuck your jeans into
your cowboy boots.
That. I'm glad you finished that.
And what I always heard, especially with Wyomingans, is they tuck their jeans into their boots. That way, the hind legs of the sheep, they can put them right in there and they can't run away.
Say that again. What?
They tuck sheep outside. That's it. Vince knows. If you put the jeans inside the boots, then you can put the rear legs of the sheep inside the boots also, and then they can't run away when you're in the sheep.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm glad he got it and I didn't have to explain it. Oh, he even knew the reason why I was asking that question. Vince, you know what? I don't know who's keeping track of the points, but 50 points to Vince Watson for tonight. I think that's you. Write that down.
Jeez. I cannot believe where this show goes sometimes.
It's a great time.
Anyways, Greg, do you pay attention to, let's say, the top 2, 3, 2.5? Let's say top 2.5 to about 12. 12. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pay attention to any of those teams?
In the top 12?
Mm-hmm.
I keep more tabs on the Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm, as a good Catholic, I'm obligated to keep tabs on Notre Dame.
True. You are. I'm just wondering, out of the top 12, who would you choose to go the furthest this season?
Who would I choose, or who do I think?
Who do you think? And choose. I don't see a difference. So don't correct my English.
No, it's all good. Hey, Husker Chuck, welcome aboard, or welcome along, or honestly, he probably arrived at just the right time to avoid the real awkwardness. I don't know if Ohio State has it in him to repeat, if I'm being honest. I like Penn State, but I also want to beat Penn State.
Don't they have a freshman quarterback, Ohio State?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, Nebraska Rascal.
There's a lot. This is something we are going to talk about on a Monday night because Monday nights are not as loose as this show. We are definitely going to be talking about who has freshman quarterbacks. There's a lot of teams. Oh my gosh.
You know who doesn't have a freshman quarterback?
Yeah, I do. I've been keeping tabs on what he's doing, where he is, what he looks like.
How are you allowed to do that? I thought that there was the virtual restraining order.
No.
All right. Anyway, so of the top 12, I'm gonna piss so many people off with this. Because again, I want Penn State to be ranked highly, and then I want to go into their house and beat them in November. So I'll say Notre Dame. Again,
Really?
I know it's going to piss people off.
I mean, no, they have a great coach. They do. That's interesting. What does everybody else think? I'm just curious. And then Nebraska Rascal, I know he told me about this trip. He says he's checking in tonight from Estes Park, Colorado.
Isn't that Rocky Mountain National Park?
Probably. It is.
You know, there's a high school in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
And they have they're Carbondale, Colorado. It's Colorado Rocky Mountain School. And do you know what their mascot is? This is real, by the way.
Okay.
This has been in USA Today. The Oysters.
Oh, is it like Rocky Mountain oysters?
They're the Rocky Mountain Oysters.
Like, the bulls,
Yeah.
what? Is that really what they are?
Yeah. The Rocky Mountain Oysters. I'm not making that up, Minnie.
How do you have that as a mascot?
You have fun.
Really?
They have their athletic team, their mask. I mean, they're the mask or they're the Oysters, but they have a notable event called Oystermeister that celebrates the school's connection to the ranching community.
Interesting.
So
Well, I guess most of them must be like farm kids, so they're used to seeing bulls. You know what?
What?
Oysters.
Roger says testicles, just by the groin.
Mm-hmm.
Balls.
Or oysters. I like saying oysters a lot better.
So, all right, are we done with this graphic, Minnie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Before we move on to the future.
How do you know what we're talking about? You do. You just remember this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we move on to the future of Nebraska football, we are going to make a slight deviation, which was talked about. We discussed this in our pre-production meetings to talk about baseball. Because Nebraska baseball ended their season at the hands of Oklahoma. Yeah, they lost to Oklahoma Friday. They beat Holy Cross, and they lost again to Oklahoma. Ended their season. It was not a good game at all. It started out crappy and went to hell in a handbasket, as my mom would say. So they're done. And it was announced shortly after that, and I actually have a graphic for this, that I don't even know if I don't know if I can call him a star player, but a contributor, certainly, is one of a few Husker baseball players who've already jumped in the transfer portal, and that's Robbie Bolin. So, Robbie Bolin is among a few Nebraska baseballers who are, as James says, jumping ship.
Okay. I don't get how you can come so close to winning, being able to play in the World Series, and then the next week you enter the transfer portal. Like, I don't get that.
I don't know. It's really weird because, when he made the announcement, all of his information was from a year ago at community college. So he's like JUCO Gold Glove, JUCO All-American, KJCCC West MVP. His batting average and slugging percentage and things like that at Barton Community College. Just nothing about his time at Nebraska. So I don't know if he felt maybe he underperformed, or didn't get the opportunities that he thought. I don't know. He did have a walk-off win in the Big Ten tournament. I think it was the championship against Oregon. He had the game-winning hit here back on May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
So, contributed at times, but, I don't know what he saw that's like, what, I'm out. And, I guess it's unfortunate. I don't know.
I'd say, because now you have to go out and fill those positions.
Yeah. Roger Moore says, hope he's getting an education. Baseball won't make him a dime. Baseball's so tough. Like, that's we talked about what it takes to make the College Football Hall of Fame. But if you think about the number of players in the minor league and farm system for, major league franchises, again, your roster's carrying maybe 25 guys, maybe. Half of them are bullpen, the other half are your fielders. You have a few bench players in your rotation. So, and then your farm system, your minor league, your developmental system's going to have, 150 guys maybe, because you've got AAA, AA, things like that. But you don't make any money at that level. So, yeah, I agree with Roger, and not just for him, but I wish all these student athletes would remember that they're students too. James Borman says that Cal Cooper decommitted. So I don't know if there's something going on. I do know that other coaches across the country are displeased because of transfer portal contacts and things like that. We have this tweet from Cliff Godwin, who's the head coach of Eastern Carolina or Coastal Carolina, one of the two. He says, our system is broken. We have coaches at the Power 4 schools, texting our players directly who are not in the portal, and we have proof. So there's, I guess in the corporate world, it'd be called like, I don't say contract tampering. But, if it's happening in baseball, it's going to be happening in the bigger, more
lucrative sports.
Right. Yes. The money makers, the money generators. So I don't know. I'd say it's disappointing, but it's not at all surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie, did you just become a member?
So what happened was I did a super chat.
We just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to bluechew.com.
We have to take care of our members.
Yeah.
Fred says Minnie trying to become a member so she can be on the Holger Maniac Mount Rushmore. She's never been a Holger Maniac. She was only a Chatterfield.
I am an honorary. I mean, come on. I helped name them. I push you into like approving the name. It only makes sense, Greg. And I'll tell you what happened. I've always been a member, but I gave a super chat to another channel, and then the weirdest thing happened. After that, my credit card was stolen.
Oh no.
And this is the only thing I used it on. So I was like, oh. So I had to wait like, I don't know, a week or so for it to come in the mail. And then, of course, all my memberships ended. And they're like, well, if you want to renew. And so I was waiting for a good time.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And you thought in the middle of a conversation was the best time to re-up your membership. I get it.
I wasn't talking, you were.
That's fine. That's why I don't need it. We don't need to hear what Greg has to say. Kaylee reminds us of all the minor league levels. There's rookie league, single A, high A, double A, triple A, and so many players for each club. Yes. And then there's the semi-pro leagues of guys trying to get in. So, yeah, I mean, just
A lot.
some of those semi-pro leagues, you may make $5,000 a summer playing ball, So yeah, and somebody said here, poaching, plain and simple. Thank you, Husker Truck. I agree.
It's poaching.
If they're not in the portal, then you should not have their phone number.
There's just not enough going against them.
Wait, hold on.
What?
In his post 12 hours ago, I don't know if I refresh, maybe it's more than 12 hours now. Robbie says, thank you, Nebraska, for everything this past year. With that being said, I'll be entering the transfer portal with 1 year of eligibility remaining. And he puts a phone number out there. Should I call the number?
Call it, Greg.
No.
Call it.
What would I say? It's 10 o'clock. I don't know where the hell he is.
No, this is what you say. You say, this is Greg Mahachko from the Five Heart Podcast.
By the way, you're live on
yes,
YouTube.
Yes. And then you say, we just are wondering, what made you decide to enter the transfer portal?
I don't know. That's a very bold move.
I mean, he put his phone number out there.
He did, but I think he wants to be contacted by coaches.
Aaron
cool.
Keynes.
Kaylee started to go off the rails. But it's 10 o'clock Central. I don't know where he is.
He's a kid. He's awake, of course. They don't need sleep.
Why do I get these bad ideas?
I don't know. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oscar Chuck says you'd have much better luck if Minnie made the call. Just saying.
Greg, you can handle this.
All right.
Here's your
Hold
idea.
on. I'm going to do it.
The other Dave's here. Just wait, the other Dave.
Go ahead and do it.
Just hit what did he say? He says, I made it, but tuning in late. Had to pick up my kids, Maddie and Davey, and just hit to my whiskey. Oh, cheers. Cheers, Greg. Would love to hear that membership jingle.
We got you the other Dave.
Mm-hmm. We just got a new YouTube member.
And speaking of members, do the very best for your member by hooking it up with Blue Chew. Go to bluechew.com.
We have to take care of our members.
Maybe I laid it on a little thick there.
You think?
Well.
All right. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says that you should do it. So, you want to do it?
Okay. I don't have his number. Put in the private chat. Yeah, I'll do it.
This is going to be so wild. This is going to be a freaking highlight. Hold on. I got you. What are we doing? Robbie is his name. And you got to tell him he's live on YouTube.
Okay. I will. I will. Jeez.
I'm so excited.
Do you put it
I'm
in
chicken.
there?
I don't want to do it. I don't want to be that guy. But it's only 8 o'clock there.
I
So
know. I'm actually really surprised that you're having me do this.
my mom always said, don't call after 8 o'clock unless it's an emergency, like unless somebody died.
That's because that's old school. You're not allowed to make phone calls. Remember when the phone was attached to the wall?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but like I'm old. My mom's even older.
And like my parents would get annoyed if somebody would call during dinner.
Put him on.
Soon
I won't be able.
What's
I
his
won't
name?
be able to.
Robbie?
Huh?
Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I dialed the right number. Okay.
It's just gonna go to voicemail.
It might. He might be watching. He's like, hell no, I'm not answering that.
This is so wild, everybody.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have
You gonna leave
finished,
voicemail?
no.
Hi, Robbie. This is Minnie from
The Five Heart
Heart Podcast.
Nebraska podcast.
Yes, I was just calling to see if I could talk to you really quick. So if you have time, just give me a call back. You have my number. Thanks. There you go.
What just happened?
He didn't answer.
Well, I know that. All right, so maybe Robbie will call. You never know. Robbie may be a surprise guest on the upcoming Monday Night Therapy and share his time, his year in Lincoln, and share his experience. You know what? Honestly, it's a human interest story, and we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like we might be doing a bad thing. All right. So Robbie, if you find this, Brian Moore says probably think coaches from ASU are calling. He's also going to be like, that's a odd time to receive a voicemail from a woman.
Or is it?
Huh?
Or is it?
I don't know. But anyway, we'll keep you posted. That's all I can say.
All right.
Moving on, let's get back to football and people we can't call. We are pretty sure.
The other Dave is here and Kaylee's here. There's a lot of people that we want to make sure stick around for what's going on later. Just
That's right.
you might want to do some housekeeping right now and let them know that.
Okay. We're going to do some housekeeping now and let you know things. And that first thing we're going to let you know, if you haven't already, make sure, especially on YouTube, that you like this video. Subscribe to the Coronation YouTube channel if you haven't already, and consider becoming a member. And make sure that you ring that bell for notifications so you never miss a new episode.
This side?
That's the bell, yep.
Okay.
And again, we have been trying something new, which is offering exclusive bonus member content just for you members. So our members are continuing to rise. Again,
So we take care of our members, Greg. That's why.
That's right. That's the only reason. They don't care about the exclusive content. They just are paying the $2.99 a month just for somebody to say, we have to take care of our members.
That's not why.
That's not why. Also, John's got a book. He's got a couple others, but this, again, as I always say, this is the only one I have a picture of. Been dead, never been to Europe. Our founder and leader, John Dam Johnston. Somebody, you ask about him every week, or somebody in the chat asks about him every week. He's doing well adjacent at least. Work has him honestly just worn out. And what he does and what he's asked to do for work would wear out anybody, but especially somebody who's in his mid-100 and teens and has had a widowmaker heart attack and brain damage. So God bless John. And, we'll see him this summer, even if it's in our annual season preview. So there's that. And then as a quick and easy reminder, get your sweet, sweet Cobby merch at cobbycorn.com. And we've talked about it. I don't want to say teased it. This is going to sound a little weird. But I'm in the early design phases for a 5-heart flower calendar. So,
wait, what?
Because my calendar last year was
Very popular.
Yes. Infamous, we'll say. Notorious, possibly. So working on that, and we'll see if we can't.
Oh my gosh. Are you really going to do that? You know what you need to do? If you do a calendar, you need to have your black Welcome to the Boneyard on one of them.
Yeah, I don't know, again, if that's proprietary. I don't know if we'd be able to get away with that. But I'll do my best. I'll at least run it past legal and say, hey, can we use this for a calendar trust me, they're not really buying it for the floor mat. They're buying it for the flowers and go from there. So we'll keep you posted on all things calendar and all things else. Copycorn.com. Get your merch. Get it soon because we're only how many days away from football, Minnie?
80 some. Where's
That's
Justin
impressive.
Raji? 81? 82? 84?
Wait. His kids are listening? You let children listen to this show? Other Dave says, having my kids' names read out loud, Maddie Lou and Davy Tim made
Oh, Maddie Lou and Davy Tim.
all I got to say to Maddie Lou and Davy Tim is aim higher.
That's so cute.
Aim higher.
Bet they are the cutest kids ever. Maddie Lou and Davy Tim. Oh, those are cute names. Those are really cute names.
Fred says the coordination should have a 5 Heart podcast shirt. Why don't we? We have the logo. It's right there. They can put it on any shirt or hoodie that they want. I'm going to have to talk to John about that.
Because you'd probably choose some weird color like green or something.
Thanks.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
What would you choose? Salmon?
Probably black.
Okay.
Fred says, Roger Moore, what's Greg pimping today? What's Greg pimping today? Whoa. So, you know what? Always be closing. I saw somebody else say that. Kaylee wants the doormat. We got hand signals. 83 days, 21 hours. Aaron says, so much for the Badonk calendar. Agreed. Not going to read that one.
What?
I'm not going to read it.
So
You'll
much
have to.
for the Donk calendar? Thank God. What's wrong with that?
No, it was a Fred comment. That's all you need to know. Can we get one of the special pens? What's a special pen with Minnie on it?
I have no idea. I only have a white pen. These are the pens I bought for my Husker work.
Now, this is an interesting question that I'm not going to answer. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart podcast, in his effort to drum up a civil war, says, who's on the Chatterfield or Holger Maniac Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, and did you see the other comment that I starred, Greg? From Fred. Asking who was the a-hole that named the Holger Maniacs?
I see it now. I missed it before.
Because it was his idea.
Yeah, Fred.
It was his idea all along. That's why the name was changed. I mean, honestly, we couldn't.
I named them the Chatterfields. I know that.
We couldn't live with the Chatterfields any longer.
I know.
It just couldn't. They couldn't survive as the Chatterfields. Okay? We had to change their name.
I'm
Help
fine
them
with the evolution.
change their identity.
I'm fine with the evolution.
We have a trans chat.
Oh, Lord.
They're transferring their identity. What?
We went there. So living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart podcast, says Fred Sacco is in the George Washington position.
Oh, I like that. I love that, actually. You'll see who's on. Well, it's not like, okay, so you guys, when we get to the Five Heart Theater,
We're not playing favorites. We want you to know that.
yes, it's very, very, very important. Like, it honestly was like picking names out of a hat because we could not possibly choose just, a couple of you on our own. So we're playing a couple of chat members tonight. I'm giving it away a little bit. The Five Heart Theater.
Yep. We're putting that particular cart before the horse. But before we do that, let us get to recruits on campus.
I mean, Greg, there's so much going on. What do you want to talk about? I don't even know. There's so much. We are raking in the new recruits. June is the busiest month for official visits, it seems. And we also have our 2025 commits that are on campus as well.
Getting moved in the setup. Now, we saw what that looked like last year on Chasing 3.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're not doing that YouTube series this year, which, that's fine. Yeah. I enjoyed seeing that getting that behind the scenes look. But if it's going to, and I'm not saying it was a distraction, but let's just let the guys focus on football.
Mm-hmm. No, they definitely are focused on football. Like, that's it. Any posts that I see are of them like doing football stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Matt Rule. Matt Rule is playing golf. He is out partying. He is like, holding babies and things like that.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, we've kind of talked, and I know you have discussed this on the other shows that you've done guest shots on. Being the head coach of a college football team now is much different than it was. He's doing that CEO. He's got to schmooze a lot more. He's got to be out there doing the fundraising and things like that, which is, I think, why, and I know you've emphasized this a lot, the importance of having a Dana Holgerson on staff and John Butler. Dana just wants to be, a ball coach. And so he can focus on that. And I imagine John Butler's a similar mindset. That obviously Matt Rule is going to be there. He's going to oversee, the grand scheme of things. But yeah, also it's June. Everybody deserves a vacation.
No. Not when you get paid that kind of money. No. Sorry. No, you don't. Work it. That's what I say.
Lord.
Work it. I mean, he's getting paid an awful lot of money.
This is what happens when I don't text BFOTS Josh Hansen. He says, "Oh, hell, I thought today was Friday." Way to be late. Way to be late, you turd.
Well, Greg, it would be nice if actually they would open like the doors and let us see what's going on behind. I feel like it's like a steel curtain. We used to have access to what's going on. We used to have, basically all summer long, we'd have press conferences. And now we have nothing. And then they gave us Chasing 3, and now we have none of it.
They are circling the wagons in a sense, like they're
blurry
outside eyes in. And again, it's frustrating from we do a show that, it's either we speculate on what's happening or they tell us and, we analyze it. We're in the speculation phase,
overanalyze and reanalyze. That's our job. And you're blurry.
But I'm okay.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
You're blurry.
I don't think
Maybe
I am.
it's because maybe it's because you're seated so far back. That's
Is it
fine.
better?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Greg doesn't get to relax anymore because he doesn't want to be a little bit blurry.
Okay. Your camera's out of focus.
It's not my fault.
You were sitting back. I was telling you it is your fault. Okay.
So anyway, I'm okay. As painful as it is sometimes to do the show with less knowledge and less information, I'm okay not knowing. I'm okay because if I don't know, that means that, you know, other schools, other coaching staffs aren't aware and they can't poach. So
This is true. This is 100% true. But
not just a hat rack, my friend.
it sucks. It sucks not knowing. Especially when we've been given so much in the past.
It does. It's
We had it so good for so long.
right. Yeah. I mean, it's a complete 180 from a year ago, right? I mean, they effectively put the toothpaste back in the tube, and that's difficult to cope with from a fan standpoint. Again, who's used to so much access. Realistically, a lot of unfiltered access, although it was, you know, edited and, you know, I'm sure they said, hey, when the cameras are around, be on your best behavior, don't swear and things like that. Because the brand, the Nebraska brand, is still very family oriented. You know, there are going to be a lot of dads watching with their kids, or, you know, moms watching with kids. You know, I'm not trying to misrepresent our fan base, but you know, I'm okay knowing less, because at the end of the day, if I know less, that means that people outside of the fan base know less, and that includes other schools, other coaches, things like that. So.
Wade Farr's comment caught my eye because, again, he mentioned your Blue Chew that you like to talk about. He said, hey, take Blue Chew and fake it, you two. And at first I was like, what is he saying? And then I was like, oh, he wants us to fake knowing it. Like, I get it. I get it.
I don't ever fake knowing it, Wade. Knowing is half the battle.
It's true. This is so true. All truth here.
Yup.
Okay. You guys have no idea. My guilty little pleasure is I've told you guys, I will rewatch the show and mute the show so I can just read. But
you don't have to react to that. That's just me laughing laughing with the other Dave.
Well, then, so I'll read. I like to read through all of the chat comments, and then I screenshot the ones that make fun of Greg.
It's true. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast, wants to know if you've switched from water to wine.
No.
No Walgreens wine tonight?
No, gosh, I get loopy on that stuff.
No.
Yeah. So, okay, Greg.
Yeah.
The only other thing that we have to talk about is what we had planned to do.
Oh, the thing?
Mm-hmm. You ready?
I'm not ready. I need to get another beer.
Okay.
Luckily, because of my handy travel cooler.
I'll be back.
Blaine Cole asks Greg, do you know one good thing Coach Callahan did for Nebraska? I think we touched on it at the top of the show. He got Ndamukong Suh on campus. There were other, I'm going to say this as politely as possible, and this is not I don't think a state secret. Yeah. Bo Pelini was living large off of Bill Callahan's recruits for a while. And it wasn't just Sue. I believe Prince Mukamara was in that group. There was Callahan was a hell of a recruiter. He just got him here and, I don't want to say abandoned them, but kind of abandoned them, All right, Fred, I'm drinking that White Rascal at your recommendation.
White Rascal.
Not to be confused with Brasco Rascal.
What does it say? Belgian style what?
White ale. 5.6% alcohol by volume.
Well, that's
and it
a
has
lot
notes
more.
of refreshing orange peel and coriander.
Refreshing what?
It's refreshing, and some of its notes, its flavors, are orange peel and coriander.
Oh, that sounds nice. I am drinking pineapple.
Yeah, White Claw, which is not really a thing. I mean, I guess it's a thing technically because you're holding it, but
It is.
Fred says it's a great beer. You'll like it if you're not an uncultured swine. I may or may not be an uncultured swine. I guess we'll find out. Kaylee says, Greg, you should try Einstock. It uses the same stuff. Einstock. Einstock Beer Company.
It's an Icelandic ale, she says.
Oh. Conquer your Viking thirst with Iceland's #1 craft beer.
Okay, first of all,
is this your boy?
This is my favorite channel on YouTube, hands down. Polyjam. If you guys
You're on a YouTube channel.
This is way better. If you guys have not seen Polyjam, you have to subscribe because they come out with the best Nebraska music ever. Like, it is so good. It is so good. My favorite song is the song about Devaney. Bob Devaney. But there's a couple of
Did you say Devaney?
They give me chills. These songs are so good.
Did you say Bob Devaney?
Okay, stop.
I'm curious.
One good thing Callahan did for Nebraska was getting Steve Peterson fired. Is what Polyjam says.
Mr. Matney agrees 100%. Let's see. I'll say, where do we go? Yeah. Please pronounce Devaney correctly.
Okay. Sorry. Devaney.
Fred says Devaney, not Vaney.
Stop. Okay, you guys. I'm sorry. I said it wrong.
Oh, geez. Hold on. All right, so Stephen Fromm says, yes, Bo Pelini did get us Amir Abdullah and Levante David. And both have, are greats. Levante David he's not, unfortunately, on my Mount Rushmore of Nebraska football players, but I think he's my all-time favorite Nebraska football player.
Who?
So, Levante David.
Oh, yeah.
So years back, in the audio-only version of the show, maybe 2020, 21, something like that, when it was me and Haas, in the offseason, we did like top 5. We picked like top 5 Husker games, top 5 Husker plays or moments, top 5 Nebraska football players. So Levante David was up there for me.
So here's the thing, you guys. And yes, living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5-Heart podcast, says Minnie is showing her Husker fandom youthfulness. I'd like to think I'm just showing my overall youthfulness. Thank you. Last week or the week before, I was asked to be on a show, and they wanted me to come up with my top Husker players of all time.
And they were all within the last 2 years.
I was like, I can't do that because our fan base will hate me. I couldn't do that to you guys, okay? I know. I'm a newbie.
Wade says, so where's that special part of the show? I've been staying awake for it. All right.
Yeah.
I guess it's time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we begin this week's 5-Heart Theater, I have to offer a little disclaimer.
Okay.
Yes, we are using some of your, I'll say, real names where applicable, or at least your YouTube personas, all meant in good fun.
It's all good fun.
In no way is it mean-spirited whatsoever. Taking some general themes that we feel from your end of the chat and delivering to you what we hope is an enjoyable 5-Heart Theater experience.
Yes. But more importantly, we're not excluding anybody from chat on purpose. There's only 2 of us, so we can play everyone that we wanted to play. And I really want you guys to know that, because we love you all. I wish we could play everybody.
We don't have that kind of time. Without any further ado.
Okay, I got it. Ready?
Here is I wasn't ready.
Me either.
Shit. What are we doing?
You said.
Nope, I didn't. Don't put this on me, woman.
Greg, what are you saying to me?
Welcome to the Holder Maniacs Trivia Showdown! Tonight we have our hilarious cast of longtime Cornhusker fans battling it out for ultimate glory and untold prizes. Let's meet our contestants. First up, we have the king of the car wash, Fred.
Oh, shit. Okay. This won't be like one of those topless car washes. We're going full Kenosha, and I will come out on top.
The voice of reason, Kaylee.
As moral compass of the show, I have to keep these guys in check. It's a full-time job, and I'm drastically underpaid.
Which leads us to the untamed spirit, the wild man, Pitt.
Call me Pitt the Bounty Hunter, because I'm still on the search for 2 runaways.
Lastly, our Husker Encyclopedia, Justin.
I bring the facts, and some people just can't handle it.
Lastly, our Husker first question. What year did Tom Osborne win his first national championship?
Oh, I know. 1994. Wait, or was that the year Scott Frost was at the strip club losing his pager?
Actually, Fred, it was 1994.
Second question. Johnny Rodgers returned a punt for a touchdown in the 1971 game against Oklahoma. According to announcer Lyle Bremser, where did that put every man, woman, and child?
What is the aisle, Alex? Right answer. Wrong show.
He's as lost as those 2 dogs.
Next question. What is Nebraska's official fight song?
There is no place like Nebraska.
Scott Frost's fight song is There's No Place Like the Spearmint Rhino.
Next question. What is Nebraska's? And here's your last question. How many national championships does Nebraska have? 5! Let me finish, please. How many national championships does Nebraska have? And what years did they win?
I got it. 5. 1970, 1971, 1994, 1995, and 1997.
Well, folks, we're all tied up. We have one more tiebreaker question. The Five Heart Podcast began in 2016 with Brian Toll and Greg Mahochko. What does Five Heart mean?
Camp Kenosha has 5 stations in the car wash. Each heart here represents one broken heart in Wisconsin.
Well, in the Navy, the fleet admiral is a 5-star flag officer. Figured they were showing appreciation for our military.
I thought 5 heart had to do with John having 5 heart attacks.
I thought it had to do with all the love the Hulkamaniacs have here on Thursday nights.
Those are all good guesses. Not you, Fred. But unfortunately, all are wrong. Founded in 2016, the Five Heart Podcast was named in appreciation of the players who may not be recognized by the scouting outlets as 4 or 5-star players, but who give every bit of effort and heart to the team each and every day. Those players are Five Heart. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have a grand prize winner this time, but each contestant is going home with a consolation prize, a bundle of Omaha steaks, shipping and handling not included, and a month's supply of Blue Chew.
Well, at least I didn't lose 2 more dogs. So that was the thing.
Oh, we did it, Greg.
I just got to scroll up to see all the comments now. Okay. All right, here we go. Fred's already offended.
Why?
We'll get to that. I'm sure we got plenty of time for that. Let's see. Fred's already offended. Husker Chuck says, "Oh, this could be good." Aaron says, "This sounds like an NIL opportunity for some folks." Fred says, "I'm ready to be taken on a journey, no pressure." Fred says, "80s game show. Where's Minnie's Uncle Wink Martindale?" So Kaylee says, "It's true." And Husker section, of course, Greg portrays Kaylee. And you looked Amish. And also, Fred can't grow a beard.
Well, it's not like I could take the beard on and off.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with the beard. I'm sorry.
And why is Fred wearing his goggles like Chuck Schumer?
I tried to make him bald. That's why
Husker Chuck enjoyed it. Says, "I'm dying." I knew Fred didn't have a beard. He says, "This is true. I have more hair on my back than my face." That sounds like a Mo problem, honestly. You look like an Amish biker. And Raji was just laughing, and that's great. And Pitt appreciated Mr. Matney laughing as well. And I may need to, or Aaron says, "Pitt, you may need to deduct Pitt points somewhere." And where's the special end of show? That was the special. I don't know what you were expecting. Wait, I'm sorry.
I can't even tell you how much work that took.
We worked on that for days. Pitt's
5 minutes. That's all we got. 5 minutes of enjoyment. There you go.
I did say flag. Everybody. And I turned Kaylee into a Smurf accidentally. Thank you, Pitt. Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says, "Top-notch set. Impressive." Minnie, you created that set.
I did. Thank you. Yes.
Wade says, "This does not do well for showing the stuff you two ate drinking on, or you two are drinking on the show." Yeah, that's what we do. I have to. Kayla says, "Aside from that Smurf bit, that's pretty accurate." That's a thing that just happened.
He told me because I said, I don't think she probably sounds that way. He goes, well, I only have one female voice.
I really don't know how else females talk, so this is what we got. Tony says we nailed Fred. And Husker Chuck's picking himself up off the floor. That was glorious, says the other Dave. Husker or Roger Moore's trying to call my dog. We did, honestly. We did a lot of work for this. It was fun. It was a good collaboration. Wade's offended for us and our drama teachers. And Pitt says, odd thing, I haven't worn a backwards cap in 30 years, but I've been donning my skull cap the past few days. Sorry. Can't be perfect.
I told you.
Why did Minnie have a beard? Why did Minnie have a beard?
I like beards. Any chance I can throw one on. I knew Justin had some facial hair. And so I wanted to, and then the do-rag was because I know in his picture, he has kind of like a beanie on, but Fred is balding. So I thought, the bandana would be.
He's according to Fred, he's not balding. It's just migrating south into the back.
Right.
Raji says, so me posting all of Sue's achievements today worked out well. Yeah. And Kaylee says, I love that you portrayed when I make a serious comment, which is then overridden by some comment about Scott Frost or Justin.
It's true.
Pitt says, neither Justin nor Fred have a beard, but I haven't shaved or had a haircut in 15 years. And Raji says, no, I do have a beard.
See, he's always scared. I just love it. I love the personalities. They were just opposites of each other.
And Blaine says, now I'm thinking of beards and shellfish. That's the Rocky Mountain oysters from before. Welcome to the club. Fred says, Minnie hair shaming me. I've reached Greg levels of beatdown. That's something.
I don't mean to. I just don't.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed that. That was, I apologize for the production miscues and accidentally clicking the wrong lines a few times. When we did this in rehearsals, I hadn't been drinking. And as you all know, tonight I've been drinking.
Yeah, true.
And also the mouse moved. So,
well, Greg, I thought you did pretty good. And we did keep it nice and short like you wanted. Right?
Yes.
Didn't take too much
I'm
time.
happy as shit.
Are you? Good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. I would have been happier if we had more contestants, but
I actually, for you Holger maniacs out there, I suggested to Minnie, I said, what if we get a couple people on to play roles but not themselves?
yes,
And she shot that down.
I did.
So,
I shut it down because that makes no sense.
be more fun than them playing themselves, though.
I can do a better Fred Sacco and Justin Raji impersonation than anyone in chat, I think, other than who they are.
I don't know. Tony says, "What? Yeah, I gotta keep the back of my head covered." Tony says, "Whatever you do, Greg, don't show Minnie the back of your head on camera." Wade says, "But we don't know what these people sound or dress like. I mean, we know some because we've met Fred.
Yes.
And Pitt's been on the show.
Yes.
And Raji was supposed to be there, but
Yes.
I messed up his transportation, so that's on me, Raji.
Yes. That's on you.
So
he's
Kaylee's really the
he's
only
my
one.
OG pal. So.
But Justin did confirm that he does wear clothes sometimes. Sometimes.
Oh,
So
well,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Wade says, "Thank
Okay.
God it was short." So, well, Wade, you get what you pay for, my friend. And
Well, here's a couple people who are saying, "Oh, I could do a great Minnie." Uh-huh. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. And you're welcome to try.
let's see who said that.
No beards involved.
Fred said, "I'd play Minnie in a heartbeat."
I think that they should play you. Did you freeze? Greg?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, why do I put up with this?
I love it. What else we got tonight, Minnie?
We're like 5. Nothing. That's
Okay.
it.
We have 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, of course, I'm going to hit all these starred comments, make sure that we,
Yes.
get them all. But are we actually going to try to get the show done in under 2 hours?
We might. It is the off season. During
It was
the
the off
season,
season last week too, and I'm pretty sure we still went 2.5 hours.
I know. But during the season, I can see going 2 hours. In the off season, it should be more like an hour.
Oh, well, we're shit out of luck then.
Yeah.
Aaron Keene says 2 years and she still falls for the freeze bit. Well, that's because last year I didn't have it. Last year it wasn't a bit. Last year it was like, I got shit internet.
You really
I'm
did.
sure with a bunch of other devices across the house. Here it's just, my phone's here, but I've got that 100 MPS or whatever. We're good.
Yeah, you haven't had very many problems except for whenever you touch your USB outlet.
Right. Yeah. Then my camera gets disconnected and all goes for clip. So, all right. Well, let's take a look at some of these start comments. Let's see. Fred says right out the gate, Dylan will never be eligible for the College Hall of Fame.
Not true.
He's got to be a first-team All-American, right?
He will.
Okay.
He will. You heard it here first.
Okay. Pitt says Ryan Leaf should get in too. Sue is a shoe-in, but Leaf is the king of eating shit for his former misbehavior and making better of it. I love Ryan Leaf.
Oh, interesting.
Ryan Leaf's he's a draft bust, but his college career was very solid. So I could see him getting in. Yeah, and you're right. I do believe that Sue's going to be a first ballot College Football Hall of Famer. Fred says, I recorded all of our games onto Discord in 2009. I edited out the terrible offense, just saved defense, and Sue highlights. Saved a lot of space.
I'm very curious to see that. I would love to see that.
I'm not even sure what Discord is. So.
Oh, it's like this app that you join, and then there's honestly, it's hard to explain.
Okay.
Because I've never really understood it myself. But if I would love to see that so much. I wish I had more time tonight.
Well, that's what I get. I asked somebody younger than me what an app is, and they don't provide any real information. So
I did. I said it was an app where it's like social stuff. Never mind, Greg. Never mind.
Is it like Facebook? MySpace?
Yeah, it's kind of like small groups.
Okay.
Where you can kind of, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all I know. I mean, I honestly have only used it once.
Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast, says, I think Dylan will be 2 yards short of
Did you
first.
say I was younger than you?
I did. It took you a long time to catch up to
that. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, Fred says he put it on disc, not Discord. So he's got a binder of disc.
That's really funny.
So,
that is so funny. It's like CD discs. Yes. Like the floppy disk, maybe even, as opposed to what's modern.
Let's see. Wade says, my hair might be as long as Minnie's, so I could play her too.
Oh.
Apparently, we need to take some of you bastards to a barbershop. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get it cleaned up.
I'm a fan of long hair.
My hair's almost too long right now. It's almost driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I miss my short, My buzz cut. That's just me. I know. Hey, I'm not here to shame anybody. Let's see what else. Oh, we were talking about what it took to get Sue on campus in Husker Chuck says cash. Probably not wrong. I did not highlight this one. I don't know if I'm supposed to read that one.
What is it?
I hesitate. It's in the starred comments. It's Fred's at 10:09. I'm not sure I'm supposed to read that one. I didn't highlight it.
No. Because
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay.
Thank
Fred says, God, Minnie's fingers looked huge up close. Don't let Dylan see those digits.
They are not that big. Okay. I've measured my hands before. They're not very big because I want to know, like, you know, how you know the sizes of our football players' hands. I want to know, like, how my hand relates to theirs. Like, is it that much bigger? And they are. So my fingers aren't big. They just look big on the screen.
Okay. By the way, we're talking about hair. Kaylee says long hair gives room for more creativity. That's right.
It's true. Yeah.
There's more of it. You can do more with it, I'd imagine. Probably not just talking about hair there either.
Yes.
What the shit, Kaylee?
See, like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to screenshot. And either tomorrow or the next day, I'm screenshotting that comment because it makes me laugh when I see it again.
Kaylee says, you're the one who leaned in. Snipers are salivating. Now, I'm in my basement. Like, there's nobody can see in here. I'm in a safe place. So, thanks, Kaylee. I appreciate all that. All right. Speaking of Kaylee had a sensible comment here. It says, as far as recruits go, I like the depth and needs that are being addressed instead of the number of stars next to the player names. Sounds like some 5 heart, Kaylee. Yeah. Effort kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't disagree. That's a great comment. Pitt also says, I shop at Tractor Supply for my wardrobe. Hey, can't beat their comfort and the price.
I haven't been to Tractor Supply. Never mind.
Did you put the band hammer on somebody?
Yes.
Do you know that person?
No.
Okay.
Read his last name.
Oh, I know. I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Aaron wants to know if everyone should record their Minnie impression and send it to me for next week's show. I think you should.
I triple dog dare you. And you know what happens when you get triple dog dared? Like, you cannot back down from this dare. You have to just
put the email address into the YouTube chat. So, yeah.
There you go.
I think that'd be great. And the fun part is I will save all of them. I will upload them, and I will play them for Minnie and for all of you next week.
Sneaky Jim, yes. Just so you know, I'm in a banning mood. So test me, mister.
I don't think he was banned for the last name alone.
No, it wasn't that. It really wasn't.
I mean, whatever. People want to make outlandish accusations about this Corn Nation YouTube channel with its 10,800 subscribers. Thank you all very much. But we get it. Long format live shows are not everybody's cup of tea. I also understand that this channel was built largely on the back of the sweat and the hard work of John Dam Johnston.
How much hard work do you think he put into this?
I think he did. I mean, a lot of those live videos or instant reactions, he had on wins, he had to find the right tree, and on losses, he at least had to clean his bathroom a little bit, So,
Well, that just happened again. You're welcome.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, so I don't think John actually did any hard lifting as far as that's concerned. And
We stand on the backs of giants, Minnie.
I would call him out on this. No, because he enjoys that.
Mm-hmm. But still work. There's still effort.
Yeah, maybe a little. It's about as much effort as you used to put into this show.
What? Kaylee says, how much work? Not sure, but he did put himself out there to make this happen.
He did. He absolutely did.
And we wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
All right. Let's see. Fred says,
I am not throwing John under the bus. Just so you know, I'm not.
Fred says, thank you, Minnie, for giving me more material for my portrayal of you. It will be gold.
Great. Erase what I said in the last 2 minutes, please.
Can't erase that.
Sneaky Jim, go away. How did he come back? I thought I put him in timeout.
No, you banned him.
Oh, okay. Well, you did it. Did you do it? Did you do it again?
Yeah, I got it now. But he'll just create a new one and be back.
Yeah. All right. Well, Greg, we're done.
No, we're not.
Oh, come on.
You realize there's an actual, honest to gosh, real question sitting here?
Okay. What?
Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the Five Heart Podcast, says, what is Minnie's definition of a disappointing season this year?
Okay, I'll tell you. You all may not agree with this because I know what your definition of a disappointing season is. It's not getting at least 8 wins. I get
You talking to me or them?
Well, you're included in this group. Yes. But my definition of a disappointment this season would be if we get blown out of games. I just don't want to see that anymore. And given the schedule that we have maybe 3-4 teams, opponents that are going to give us hell. We should not have those blowouts, those surprise blowouts. Oh, my gut just turns when I think of Indiana last season. Oh, I don't ever want to experience that again. So,
yeah, that was rough. I could do without that. They're not asking for my definition of a disappointing season. But to piggyback on that, Mr. Matney would like to know how many wins would be disappointing.
Oh, that's just. How many wins would be disappointing? Like, I'd say half.
6?
That would be a disappointment.
That would be a disappointment. I'd agree. Raji says 8-4 would bring me disappointment. Polly Jam says anything under 9. Pitt says no blowouts is a good baseline. I'd add positive turnover margin. We almost made it last season.
Yes.
And Aaron Keene, I agree. We need to aim higher this year than just incremental improvement. It is time to take that leap. I tend to be in agreement with Raji. I think if you just go 8-4, then you feel that it's underwhelming because we've talked about what the schedule looks like and strength of schedule and the opportunities that are there. You should start 3-0. You have the ability. I mean, it's not August. It's not the week before the season. We're not going to get into the season prediction now. But when you look at on paper, and I understand you still got to go out and you got to play the game, but on paper, there are 8 winnable games. I would say at least. So you go out there, you win the ones you're supposed to, and you surprise, a team or two along the way that you're not supposed to beat. And, you're closer to double-digit wins in the regular season. So, again, I tend, I wasn't going to tend to agree with Raji. He just said it first. I think if you only win 8 games this season, like Rome's not on fire, but you got to really start looking at what you can change next year and hope that if you didn't see the talent jump this offseason, then something they have to make a leap next year. So, and go ahead.
Right. So Fred Sacco said something and somebody finally called him out on it. They did.
Okay.
Sacco said, we would have made a better turnover ratio if not for our quarterback. And then Brian, who is not familiar with how I love to stick up for Dylan, says, Fred, that is completely untrue. And I won't have that talk here.
Now, wait a minute. Did he qualify that statement at all?
He didn't, but, we don't need to here.
Wait.
Wait. There's more.
Oh, here we go.
Fred says, Brian Moore, it's a joke to agitate Minnie.
Don't peek behind the curtain.
Every single time.
I mean, I do it too. That whole sliding 2 yards early thing, that's great. Pitt says, it's the offseason. Get your head straight, people. 15-0. That's right. Kaylee says 7 wins is disappointing. I think people are underestimating our opponents, but we should be at 8 wins or more. Raji says 6-6 would be embarrassing.
It would be.
And Mr. Matney agrees. You're welcome, Kaylee. Glad we agree. And we're too literal. I don't think so.
Good gravy. I think Elmer Fudd says that.
With new kicker, every game at least by 3 win instead of 1 point loss.
You know what? With our special teams, I'm expecting to not have those 3-point losses. We better not.
No, because they'll go to overtime because we'll kick the field goal. They'll go overtime and we'll lose by 7.
Mm-hmm. I like what Polyjam says.
10 wins.
You can plan your season. Just here, let's go down. So what are the 2? Polyjam. I don't even need to ask. Never mind. Don't answer that.
Keen says the mini stir of truth has reappeared. Minister.
Minister. Like a minister. That's clever. Okay, Greg.
Kaylee says, I want draftable Dylan, not, he's a freshman Dylan.
Don't worry, Kaylee. We're not saying that anymore.
Brian Moore says, lose close, win big. Those are the steps. Nebraska is still in win close mode. So I don't disagree. I know you want to add on to that.
I do, because that gives me goosebumps. I love that. I love that saying. I love it. I hope in my lifetime we get to a point where we're winning big.
Roger then asked me, what is Greg's definition of a disappointing beer? So I was down in Kentucky this past weekend for my niece's high school graduation, and my brother, he had a local beer on tap, and it was an IPA, and it was bitter and oddly light. Like there didn't have trying to figure out how to describe this in a way that won't make.
Greg, can I help? I wasn't even there. But you don't like bitters. And if it's bitter, you don't like it.
No, it's not. I can handle the bitter part. But it tasted again, I'm trying to describe this in a way that Fred won't be like salivating and like, I got a comment about that. But it almost tasted a little flat. And
aren't you glad I played you, Fred? After that, what was that?
I don't know. So that was disappointing. Not all beers are good beers. And but I'll still drink most beers. Like free beer is better than no beer at all. So, but at the same time, I did have a 4.5 hour drive on the way, so I didn't drink. But like, he's like, "Hey, you want to taste this beer?" I'm like, "I'll try the beer." I'm like, "Oh, I've tried the beer." And that was it. So.
Okay. That would be just about every beer I've ever tried.
Well, yeah, but whatever.
I was at a rodeo in Wyoming with my older brother, and the only drinks that they had at the concession stand were beer. And he comes back with a beer for me and hands it to me. And
it's probably a Coors Light too in Wyoming.
It was. Yeah. How'd you know?
Wyoming.
Yeah. So I take it and I open it like this literally is going to be my first beer ever. And I'm like, I try and take a sip and I'm like, oh, it just like sent shivers down my spine. I could not. And I'm like sitting there with it. I said, I'm sorry. I tried. I can't drink this.
I remember being a minor and being at a family function, and it was at my uncle's. For whatever reason, he had non-alcoholic Busch beer. And I was 18 or 19. I know my sister was of legal drinking age. She's a couple years older than me. And I said, "Hey, can I have like one of these non-alcoholic beers?" And they're like, "Okay." And I drank it and I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And my sister, I think she was trying to like keep me on the straight, narrow path. She's like, "Oh, if you don't like that, then you're not going to like beer because that's what beer tastes like." And I don't know, like, I know she's not watching this, but sis, you're wrong because actual beer is very good, but Busch NA, not so much.
Not good.
So, all right, we see.
Greg, I wasn't a minor. I was like 30 when I tried that.
That's fine. Roger says everyone is sure about Iowa. I'm sure that birds fly upside down over Iowa because there's nothing worth shitting on in Iowa. That's what I'm sure about.
I don't know about Iowa's offense. We'll see. They have that Mark Gronkowski as their new quarterback. We'll see. I can't wait to start diving into these teams.
Right. It's going to be fun. I'm curious on because from a marketing standpoint, maybe less from a beer standpoint, Minnie. Kaylee says, what would be a good name for a Husker beer? And we do have some suggestions already. So we have corn wine, red corn ale, and red corn ale again by Fred. I'm not going to read that one, Fred. Bibbs Boulevard, the Corn Stalker IPA.
That's a good one.
A picture of Minnie chasing Dylan on the.
I think Husker wheat.
Yeah, we're known for our wheat.
Right? Like, don't they have wheat beers? They have.
Yeah, I'm drinking a wheat beer right now.
Yeah. There you go. Husker wheat. Husker. Things with corn too.
We got a couple of. We got Corn Stalker, Corn Husker Ale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Corn Husker Kool-Aid. I can read.
Didn't you have a red beer not that long ago?
I had a red ale, yeah.
Yeah. So we could have a Go Big Red Ale. Easy.
There's probably a brewer, if they could get the permission of the university to, provide kegs for game day or something like that. But I don't know. Honestly, this is just me. I don't know. I'm not that hip to the craft brew scene in eastern Nebraska. I don't know who'd be able to supply Memorial Stadium with enough beer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
that'd
They'd
be
have to be able to brew enough and bottle it or whatever. Somebody said something here.
Big Red Suds. I like that one. Cornstalker is a beer already from Thunderhead Brewing.
There you go.
Words are hard. Shut up, Aaron. And with Blue Chew, you could be never mind. Boneyard Brew. That's a good one, Polly Jam.
I like that. You missed it. You missed the little red one.
Little Red, not alcoholic. That's right. It's the Shirley Temple of beers. So.
You're not twinning with him tonight. Guys, before we go, what?
1970s child, which, by the way, a picture of Jack Lambert respects as Old Milwaukee.
Ooh.
Or Old Milwaukee.
I like that. Someone had a baby.
Who?
Greg, come on. You know. You told me.
Oh, that was like last week, though.
No, it was this week, dude. Get with it. Oh my gosh. It was like Tuesday. Greg, it was this week.
Who are you talking about?
They went in on Monday and they had the baby Tuesday.
Are we talking about the same person?
Yes.
Who used to share the show
Yes.
with me?
Yes.
That was last week.
No.
They're already home. That baby's over a week old already.
That
Yeah.
baby.
So
No, because-
Ross is
listen,
now
listen,
officially
listen.
a daddy.
Oh my gosh. Greg, you forget things. I swear. You do. You do. You told me.
I told
I-
you what?
You told me they had a baby and I
Yeah. Again, last week.
sent flowers this week.
Last week.
This week.
Okay. Why do I have a picture from last Friday at 7:20 p.m. of their little baby in the Nebraska snuggly that I sent them?
That is so cute. Oh my
That's
God.
last Friday. The
Okay,
baby is
so it was
over a
last-
week old.
Okay. The baby is a week. The baby's a week old.
Yeah.
We're celebrating the baby.
As of last Tuesday. So, yes, congrats to Haas and Katie and their new addition, Lane. So,
It's so exciting.
I almost swear we talked about this last week, too.
No, we did not.
I think
We
you
never
drank the memory
mentioned
one.
it. We never mentioned it. So the reason why I remembered is because of Little Red.
It's like that Naked Gun clip, it's just the progressing face palms. So,
And their baby has red hair, by the way.
it's true.
Cute.
Now, I joked with them. I said, hey, when I say go Big Red, it's now has two meanings.
It does. And they named him Lane after Lane Kiffin. Oh, we already talked about it? We did? Did we talk about it?
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Justin. I believe Justin. I don't believe you. I never believe what you say.
Well, that's it. We somehow managed this show that could have been over a half hour ago. Here we are, 11:15 Central Time, God's favorite time zone. And we thank all of you for taking time away from your busy lives to hang out with us. And hopefully we help you relax and unwind and get you, maybe a mindset shift heading into the weekend. We just appreciate
Coast into your weekend off of the 5 Heart Theater. I'm sorry. I was trying to help you.
Y'all wonder why I drink. Crying out loud. So, all right. That is it for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. Thank each and every one of you for spending some time with us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Same, I'm not going to try to rip off the 1966 Batman TV series. 9:00 Central next Thursday night. We'll see you here. You can check out Monday Night Therapy with Minnie Monday at 8:00 Central.
Oh, go ahead. Finish. You finish. And then I have something to say. Don't just cut me off, okay?
Okay. And that's it for our show. Before we actually officially signed this thing off. Minnie, is there something you would like to add?
Yes, thank you very much, Greg. Guys, I know this is Greg. Stop. Okay. Big news. Tomorrow, yours truly is going to be interviewing the president of the NFF.
What's the NFF?
National Football Foundation, College Football Hall of Fame. Tomorrow morning. So look for that interview because it's going to be Nebraska related. Tomorrow afternoon.
As well as the exclusive Ndamukong Suh watch along, chat, information, video, whatever, exclusively for you YouTube members. So once again, this is our show. Thank you so much for all of you being a part of it. Thank you for those of you who were randomly selected to be chosen for our 5-Heart Theater. Thank you for still being here after the show. It means a lot that you went along with the bit. So for Minnie Hunt, I'm Greg Mahachko. This is the 5-Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week, and we have since 2016, that 5-Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And don't forget about your Mount Rushmore homework. That will be due next Thursday. What is next Thursday's date, Greg?
The 12th.
Okay, June 12th. We'll be looking for it. And go Big Red.